plugged into this amazing opportunity that's also like a cold splash of water of get out, you don't belong here. But also at the same time, we need a token Hispanic.
You what?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my perspective of what that was like. So
yeah. I had a job. I worked. My first job, I guess you could say, in the digital space was at an ad agency, and it was kind of like that. You know, I got hired as a copywriter. At least that's what I thought at the time. But they really wanted me there for like more data, because they didn't really have. They said, "Hey, we need a person." Well, when I came in there after 6 months, I realized that I think somebody, one of my coworkers, pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, do you know why they really hired you?" I said, "Well, not really." And he's like, "They really hired you because they needed more information from people of color." And I said, "Oh, okay." It's because we don't really have anyone else in here to give us any insights about how to promote to those other markets and groups of people. So that's why they really hired you. I said, "Oh, okay, that's nice to know."
I respect it. I respect the effort, but it wasn't easy. I mean, I had a similar experience, working at on a film called Spanglish. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but that was one of my first jobs out of college. And it was an amazing opportunity. The producer that hired me is a Latina, and she's very big in media on the production side and agency side. And she gave me this awesome opportunity. But I remember being in rooms where it was just, I was the most fully bilingual person in the room. And the movie was called Spanglish. Like, they were trying to create like a Spanish, English, like multicultural type project. The director was Jewish. And so I'm consulting, giving feedback, and because I'm sassy, I still remember he made a comment like, "Oh my gosh, it's like having two people because you're bilingual." And I'm like, "Well, can I get paid double?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "You know what? I'll take it. It's a win is a win. It was a good opportunity. It was a good experience." And but
I just learned from all those opportunities, especially back then, because I was very new. I didn't really know how the business went. And plus, the guy that really taught me, he retired. Plus, he was an older guy at the time, so he ended up retiring. And he told me, "Hey, he said, you'll be fine. You probably have to figure out some things or whatever." And I ended up taking a job at that agency, and it was a different experience versus just working with him. It's like a group thing, and everything has to be pre-approved, and things move slow, and so I already knew probably within the first 6 months. I said, I'm probably not going to be here very long.
Oh, shit. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. I said, I probably will end up in a space just like I'm doing right now. Eventually.
Yeah. But they're great learning opportunities. Like, I'm really grateful. I learned a lot. And again, at the end of the day, I respect the effort that these big companies were making to be more inclusive, to get more of a diverse perspective, to connect with different audiences. And it's awesome. And the privilege that I see in being a minority is we learn how to be chameleons, and we learn how to connect with and enjoy different people and different cultures. Yeah. I still remember being in New York with one of my colleagues, and I'm in a sorority, a Latina sorority. And I remember I connected with a bunch of, other Hispanic women in New York that were in my sorority. And I, told my colleague, and I'm like, "Hey, why don't you come out with us?" Without thinking that she'd be the only white girl at this like party that we were going to, where we were going to go out and just hang out. In my mind, it didn't register that it'd be an issue. And so, because I'm so used to always being the minority. And so, she got really tense, and I was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need something? Like, was your drink not okay?" And she was like, I feel really uncomfortable. And I'm like, why? Did somebody do something? Like, I'm over here, you know, being like protective and thinking something was really wrong. And she's like, no, it's just, I'm the only white person here. And I was like, oh, that's all right. Like, you know, I'm the only Mexican usually wherever we go. And she was like, yeah, but I'm white. I shouldn't have to feel like this. And I was like,
oh shit.
Okay. Yeah. But she was not having a good time. And I'm like, meanwhile, I went to Tulum last year, the year before, and it was with all Black accountants and attorneys. And it was me, and I'm over there having a blast, dancing hip hop, dancing to like Mexican music. Like, I had a blast, and I'm like, wow, how beautiful. And one of my friends pointed this out. He was like, it's cool that like no matter where you are, you're comfortable. And I'm like, it's just, I'm so used to being very comfortable, even when I guess I'm not around like people that are like me, that I just have a good time. And that's kind of cool, right? To have that. I think to me, that's the blessing and that's the perk in that. Anyway, I don't know how we got into a conversation.
Yeah. No, I think you're just comfortable in your own skin. That's all.
Yeah. But not only that, but I enjoy other cultures. Like I have such a diverse group of friends, and I eat everything, and I'm just so open, and to me that's fun. And I feel bad, you know, like the story that I told you was not to be critical of that girl, but I was like,